However, I saw your headline. Today, shocking news of Chicago fire, Herrmann accident, and death. I went and found the shocking news you're referring to, and wow, it's a lot. The word death is flying around, and it's terrifying fans, but the real story is a different kind of tragedy. So I've written a new 1,000-word article from scratch for you, built around that headline. It's in that friendly, high engagement, and emotional tone you asked for. It's designed to grab your audience, clear up the confusion, and hit them right in the heart. Here it is. Herrmann isn't dead, but the shocking truth of what just happened on Chicago Fire is utterly heartbreaking. If you're a Chicago Fire fan, and your social media feed is exploding today, you're not alone. When you see words like Herrmann, accident, and death all in the same sentence, it's impossible not to feel that cold, familiar dread. We've been through this. We lost Otis. We've nearly lost Severide a dozen times. We just went through the ringer with Cindy Herrmann's cancer battle. So, when the news broke about a Herrmann accident, the entire One Chicago fandom held its breath, terrified that we were about to lose the heart of Firehouse 51. Let's all take one unified, deep breath. Christopher Herrmann is not dead. But the shocking news is real. The accident happened. And in some ways, what happened in the latest episode, Mercy, is a tragedy that cuts just as deep, leaving a wound that will change the Herrmann family and all of Firehouse 51 forever. What we witnessed wasn't the death of a person, but the death of a home. The nightmare call every firefighter dreads. The episode started like any other. We even saw a sweet, domestic moment with Herrmann at home, marking his kids' heights on a doorframe. It was a simple, beautiful flash of the life he and Cindy built. It was a reminder of everything he fights for. And then, the bells rang at 51. The call came in for a house fire. And then the address crackled over the radio. You could see the blood drain from Herrmann's face. It wasn't just a house. It was his house. What followed was one of the most stressful, gut-wrenching sequences in the show's recent history. This isn't a job anymore. It's a frantic, desperate race. The terror was doubled by one horrifying fact. His daughter, Annabelle, was supposed to be homesick from school. Herrmann does what any of us would do. He loses it. He's not a firefighter. He's a father. He sprints from the truck, screaming her name, rushing into the inferno without a second thought. His team right behind him. The man who is usually the steady veteran voice of reason is now a terrified parent, clawing his way through his own burning home, screaming for his child. The relief, when it finally comes, is almost too much to bear. Cindy pulls up, frantic, and confirms the one piece of news that matters. Annabelle is safe. She decided to go to school after all. Everyone is alive. Herrmann doubles over, gasping for air, the weight of the world lifting off his shoulders. The worst-case scenario. The death we all feared was avoided. But then he turns around, and he watches his whole life turn to ash. It's gone, man. The crushing aftermath. This is where the real tragedy begins. With the family safe, the reality of the situation crashes down. The fire is too strong. The structure is failing. It's no longer a rescue. It's a total loss. Herrmann, in a daze, tries to run back inside. Not to save a person, but to save something. A photo, a memory. That doorframe with his kids' heights. Anything. He's in shock, and it's the new firefighter, Vasquez, who has to physically tackle him and drag him away for his own safety. And then, in one of the episode's most powerful moments, Severide has to hold his friend back, look him in the eye, and say the words no one ever wants to hear. Herrmann, it's gone, man. Accept the fact. It's just gone. Everything. The home they raised 5 kids in. The place Cindy recovered from cancer in. Every birthday party, every Christmas morning, every little piece of their history, incinerated. This episode wasn't about a line-of-duty accident. It was about a deeply personal, devastating loss that feels horribly real. It's the kind of loss that leaves you standing on a curb with nothing but the clothes on your back, wondering how you'll ever start over. The guilt that nearly broke him. As if the loss wasn't enough, the show twisted the knife. In the aftermath, Herrmann is a ghost. He's quiet, angry, and shattered, and he's carrying a secret, terrible fear. He thinks it was his fault. He confesses to Severate that he'd recently done some rewiring in the kitchen himself to save money. He's crushed by the possibility that his mistake, his attempt to cut a corner, is what cost his family everything. This right here is what makes Herrmann so human. He's not a superhero. He's a dad who was just trying to make ends meet.